tricky in these drying conditions. There is Johnny Lacey in second place.
Well, let's just watch the inspiration of this man, because in difficult conditions he just rises so high. Conditions probably at the start of the race more than he could cope with his car. But again, watch the way he comes out of Rascasse, trying to get grip down. Heinz-Harald Frentzen again, fastest race lap, continuing to try to claw back. He's some 26 seconds behind Martin Brundle, who's running in 10th place. We're only on lap 24. A long way yet to go.
And indeed, Johnny Lacey has just gone slightly faster than that. He's just crossed the line, and he's done a 1 minute 43.1. So into the 43s now.
I just wonder, are we going to see a real race, not at the beginning of this Grand Prix, but come the end? Because as track conditions are very gradually drying out, we're seeing that Alesi now has got the fastest race lap, and that by some considerable amount. For Irvine, likewise, he's got a difficult car in the wet conditions, but he's not in any position to challenge Irvine or challenge Alesi or Hill, but it's still creating a slightly different perspective of the race. And look at Flavio Briatore's face. Now at least he's got the name on the side of the hat, we know who he is.
On board with the Lacey through the tunnel, but the picture breaking up as ever through there. And of course that part of the track very dry, the wet tyres being worn more severely there before they come back out onto the damper part. But you can see a goodish dry line into the chicane, a little bit of dampness on the exit of it, and the swimming pool section that he's coming up to probably fairly damp around here as well.
You can hear Alesi, he's not running that engine up to the 16.5 or 17,000 revs available. He's short shifting, he's trying to use the meat of the engine, the torque of the engine, to get the momentum rolling, and trying to avoid that sudden loss of adhesion when the power really chimes in. So get the momentum up, get the speed up, avoid the scary moments.
So he comes up out of the final corners. This time will be to complete lap number 25 out of 78. Still a long way to go. His lead, or the gap between him and Damon Hill, something like 22 seconds, but he's just set a new fastest lap. Once again, we're on lap number 26 at the moment. Damon Hill has set another new fastest lap, and we're now beginning to get into the sort of territory, time-wise at least, that they may be thinking of slick tyres, and he's actually caught up to Heinz-Harald Frentzen just ahead of him.
Yes, a blistering last lap from Damon Hill, a new fastest race lap, and that has drawn him back up to Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who's scrabbling. You can see the wheel spin from the Sauber Ford on the exit of Rascasse. Now, for Damon Hill, he'll want to have Heinz-Harald Frentzen and obey those blue flags, not hold up race leader. We saw what happened 2 weekends ago when Michael Schumacher got delayed behind Hakkinen and Pedro Diniz. You're allowed a limited amount of time to hold up the leading group of cars. Beyond that, then you will pay a penalty, and if you don't get your act together, you can find yourself in the pit lane for a stop-go penalty.
Great view through Casino Square there of the back of the Sauber Ford of Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Now we're plunging downhill, quite steeply downhill here, into the right-hander at Mirabeau. And now that's interesting. There was an L1 on Damon Hill's pit board, which might indicate that he's coming in soon. If that could be a countdown to a pit stop, but maybe that's purely conjecture.
Oh, it is indeed. There is pit stop due. The camera's being pushed out of the way. So, expect Damon Hill in at the end of lap 27. The question is, can they put enough fuel into the car to see him through to the end of the race? Or will it be 2 stops? Will he go out in slicks and Frentzen moves over? Well done, Heinz-Harald. But Damon Hill, that's maybe saving him. And they run from the chicane back into the pit lane. Maybe half a second to a second. And sometimes those small increments count in the end.
That's right, so it looks as though Damon's heading in. This is the view of the pass as the Sauber gets well over to the right-hand side, onto the wet stuff. Damon Hill on the dry line, through the chicane, and no problems going through.
So let's follow the race leader. He should stay on the right as he exits Rascasse this time to come into the pits.
Oh, one more lap obviously before he comes in. So they're getting ready, but they haven't quite got the tyre blankets off presumably yet, and they'll be bringing him in a lap later.
What the team must do, and they know full well, is exploit the advantage that Damon Hill currently enjoys. Get the best out of the track when he's got a clear run. When he was behind Frentzen, maybe they would have brought him in that 1 lap earlier. They've got the option, they've got the flexibility of maybe 4 or 5 laps in which to bring him in.
Frentzen has been into the pits for his first stop. He's maybe the first to go on slicks. Second stop rather, yes, with the problem for his nose cone. And Lacey has just set the new fastest lap. So this is all interesting stuff. I suppose the other thing that Williams might do is bring Villeneuve in first to see what conditions are like in terms of putting it onto slicks.
I think the equation that they'll be working on is if they bring in Damon Hill now, what time will he lose in that stop for fuel and for tyres, and where would it put him back out on the track? Would it put him back into traffic with Irvine, Coulthard, Villeneuve, Solo, Panis and Herbert, or would he get out ahead of them?
So here we are, the crew is getting ready to go, ready to make the stop. We wait to see exactly what's going to happen there. 28 laps, well, it's on the 28th lap now. Damon Hill with a lead of 20.
Oh, and he got awfully wide on the exit of the back. You could almost see his foot off the throttle from where we were sitting, and just easy to get trapped again on the exit from the swimming pool. The back end breaks away, and I suspect that the life of those wet weather tyres has virtually reached its conclusion. This time into the pits, yes it is, race leader in for his first stop.
So Hill comes in on lap number 28, and the crew going to work. Very slippery pit lane, be aware of that, and especially when he comes out on slicks, he's going to have to be careful. A little slow getting that left rear off.
Yeah, that's the problem you get with when the heat builds up. Damon Hill in and Damon Hill out very quickly indeed on slick tyres. Down the pit lane on the speed limit button, and now can he get out, or is Alesi coming past? He is. Alesi has taken the lead as Damon Hill gets out in second place.
So now Hill on slick tyres, Alesi still on wet tyres, and on slick tyres Heinz-Harald Frentzen has just set the new fastest lap of the race. It looks like a great time to make the tyre stop, and Benetton could be slightly behind the game here, not having stopped yet.
But for Damon Hill, who was brilliant when he applied the same philosophy in Brazil, has got to be so careful on this lap on those slick tyres. There we look and see Ferrari preparing for Eddie Irvine. He's got slicks. So are Benetton going deep into this or not? But Ferrari are in, Benetton are ready as well. So this is going to be a change. It's going to be tyres only, no fuel is going in.
Engages gear, out he goes once again. And so, a very rapid stop.
Well, indeed, but it looks as if the teams had actually only planned a one-stop race for fuel.
And there, Olivier Panis, a clean stop for him as well. He came in from 9th position, and Mika Salo's just set the fastest lap. Now remember, he's still on wet tyres, so it shows you that we're really on the crossover point between being quickest on wets or quickest on slicks. Our race leader is Jean Alesi. He's being chased, as you can see, by Damon Hill, now in second place, but having stopped and on slick tyres, so this is an intriguing battle.
And look at the difference in bite off that corner. Damon Hill just rockets up to the back of Alesi, who's sitting there spinning wheels. He's going to try. No, he's not. Alesi still stays out, frustrating Damon Hill. Now this again is an aspect of team strategy. You can't beat him in the pit lane, frustrate him on the racetrack. Damon Hill doesn't need to race on Alesi. Don't put yourself in a position of endangering any opportunities. He pulls out to the right. He's going to try and find a way alongside. Oh, and he has taken the lead back. A courageous, great pass from Damon Hill. And I tell you, on a part of the circuit, I never imagined I would see somebody in a competitive situation make a pass.
Heinz-Harald Frentzen has set the fastest lap, as you saw, by a massive margin. That shows you just how well the slicks are working once they're up to temperature. He's done a 1:31 now.
But all I can think is that Benetton wants to do a stop for Alesi and put fuel and tyres on. There's no other logical reason why he would stay up. But look at Alesi. Villeneuve comes in as well. Alesi sideways on the exit of Saint-Deveau. He had no grip. Damon got the fight. They were taking the rear flap off. That was on for the wet. So slicks on, no fuel in for Villeneuve. And struggling to get traction, Mika Häkkinen in for tyres as well. And the back of the car still up. Get him out. So I hope Alesi, when he comes in, we'll see him not only put new wheels, tyres, slicks on, but will fill up with fuel. That's the only logical reason I can think that they're keeping the Frenchman out now in second place for this long.
Yes, and last time around he was something like 8 seconds a lap slower than Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who's got that fastest lap. And so a major difference. He's surely got to be in soon. Yes, he is in this time. Now, let's watch to see if they do indeed put fuel aboard. Unlike